Hello Year 2, happy Friday and welcome to our afternoon's learning of science. I'm going to share my screen and we'll get going. Okay, here we are. Hopefully you can see what I can see. So today in our science learning, we're going to be thinking all about healthy eating. Now we've done quite a lot of exercise learning in science over the last couple of weeks, looking at our heart rate, looking at what happens to our body when we exercise. So today we're just going to be focusing more on the eating side of living a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so we're just going to begin with a couple of questions to revisit from our learning last time. The first question is, what happens to your heart rate when you exercise? Okay, what happens to it from before you exercise to after? What happens? Okay, well, your heart rate increases when you exercise. So the amount of beats per minute of your heart rate, the number increases from before you exercise to after you exercise. And then another question, just to get you thinking about our learning for today, is why do humans need food? Why do we need food? Okay. Right, let's have a little think together then. Why do humans need food? So humans need food to live, to grow, and to stay healthy. Food gives us the energy to be active and to be able to do things like exercise. Okay. So today we're going to be looking at a couple of things together. We're going to be exploring a range of different food types, and we're also going to be understanding what a balanced diet is. So a couple of questions to get you started is, what happens to us when we feel hungry? And why do you think that might be? Pause the video here and just have a think. Think about when you're hungry, what happens? Okay, hopefully you've had a little chance to think about that. So maybe when you feel hungry, your tummy might rumble a little bit. Your tummy might feel a bit funny. You may have a bit of a tummy ache if you feel really hungry. Okay, so I wonder why that is. Okay, so we're now going to explore what a balanced diet is. And we're going to explore this. And this is called the Eat Well Guide. Now, you've probably seen this before, how food is separated into the different food groups. Okay, so the Eat Well Guide is a guide which helps us to get a balance of healthy and more sustainable food. It shows how much of what you eat overall should come from each food group. So how much of the food you eat should be from the fruit and vegetables group. Okay, so there are some different things, some different information around the outside, but we're going to break it down by looking at each food group in turn. Okay, so first of all, it's important when we're eating healthy, when we go shopping, we check the label on packaged foods. Okay, so a label that looks like this, you've probably seen this before. That would say each serving contains. It tells you how many calories, the fat, how much sugar and how much salt is in the food. So we want to try and choose foods that are lower in fat, salt and sugars. So you can see the green boxes, it says low, so low fat and low saturated fat. But the sugars is red, it says that's high. Okay, so that's really not very good food for you to eat. And then the salt is medium, it's amber. So that's not too bad. So we want to try and choose foods that are low in salt, fat and sugar. Now, for all of these naughty but nice things, these things like crisps and ice cream and chocolate and cakes and biscuits, we want to eat less often and in small amounts. Okay, so you can have small amounts, but just not very often. And then you can see our cup here, and it says 6 to 8 a day. Water, lower fat milk, sugar-free drinks, including tea and coffee, all count. And with your drinking, you should try and limit the fruit juice, so not have quite so much, and smoothies to a total of 150 millilitres a day. Okay, so let's look at each of these food groups separately then. Off with the carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are all sorts of things like potatoes, bread, rice, pasta, and other starchy carbohydrates. You can see lots of different pictures here. Weetabix, porridge, breads, couscous, all of those sorts of things, okay? So it's always really good to choose whole grain or higher fibre versions of these carbohydrates because they have less fat, salt, and sugar in them. Okay, but carbohydrates are good for us. They give us energy. So it's important that we eat carbohydrates, but again, not loads and loads of them. Okay, but as you can see here, carbohydrates is quite a large section of our Eat Well plate, okay, of the amount of food we should be eating in our diet. Moving on to fruit and vegetables, and we know all about fruit and vegetables. Now we should try, if we can, eating at least 5 portions of a variety of fruit and vegetables every day. So we call it 5 a day. Okay, so lots of different fruit and vegetables here, okay, which I'm sure you know about already. So then we have our beans, pulses, fish, meat, and other proteins. These are our proteins. Okay, so we can see all sorts of things here: eggs, chickpeas, nuts, tuna, mince, fish, all sorts of things like that. Okay, so we should eat more beans and pulses. Okay, and we should try and have 2 portions of fish a week, 1 which is an oily fish. And we should try and eat less red and processed meat. Okay, so that isn't too large a section, but it's really important still. We do make sure we're having that protein. Okay, now thinking about our dairy and alternatives. So we have milk, yogurts, cheese is our dairy products. So again, it was a good idea to choose lower fat and lower sugar options for our dairy products there. And then finally, our really small section of our Eat Well plate is those oils and spreads. Okay, that's a really small section that we should try and not have too much of, and we should try and choose unsaturated oils and use in small amounts. Okay, and then water we've talked about already. So what we're going to do today is that our lesson is broken into 2 parts. First of all, I'd like you to have a go at doing a little bit of food tasting. It would be really great to see you trying some new foods that maybe you've not tried before. Okay, now if we were in school, we'd be able to do some food tasting all together, and we'd be able to try all different sorts of fruits and vegetables and different things like that. But it would be great to see you having a go at doing some food tasting at home. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go out to the shop and buy lots and lots of new things. It might just be that you try a little bit of a fruit that maybe you've not had so much before. Okay, or a little bit of something else that you've not had before. Okay, and just try a little bit of a few different things from some different food groups. So maybe a little bit of fish or a little bit of milk or cheese. Okay, so try and find at least one thing from each of those food groups. I want you to think about, as you're trying these things, think about the foods you really like, think about the foods that you really don't like, and then have a think about why. Okay, what do you like about the foods that you like, and what do you not like about the foods that you don't like? Okay, you might want to take some photographs of the foods that you try, or write down a little bit of a diary or a journal of the foods that you've tried and what you like and what you don't like. That's the first part of your learning for today. The second part, once you've done that, is I want you to create a healthy lunchbox. Okay, so you're using everything you've we've learned about a balanced diet. So a balanced diet is all about having something from all of those food groups there. I want you to design yourself a healthy lunchbox. So what would you have in your lunchbox to try and have something from each of those food groups? So to try and have a carbohydrate in your lunch, maybe a bit of protein, maybe a little bit of dairy, okay, and of course some fruit and vegetables as well. Okay, so try and think about what you'd like in your healthy lunchbox to make sure that you're having a balanced diet. Okay, you might want to draw out a lunchbox using a ruler and then draw those items of food inside that lunchbox. Try and remember to colour it in and label it, just like you did with your fruit kebab picture, so that we can see exactly what you've chosen to draw inside your healthy lunchbox. I'm really looking forward to seeing those brilliant healthy lunchboxes, and I really hope you enjoy doing a little bit of food tasting as well. Have a really lovely Friday afternoon, Year 2, and a really wonderful weekend. I really hope you're able to take some time to relax and enjoy yourself. I'll see you on Monday, ready for some more morning fluency again. Goodbye for now, Year 2.